Hi, and welcome to Hawthorn, this amazingly beautiful tree slash shrub. And we're going to look here a little more closely at the differences between how the West uses it and how the East looks at it, because this is a really interesting plant for some of these differentiations. There is overlap, of course, which is great because sometimes there isn't, but there is in this case. But there's some really unique differences. So first, let's start with, this is a plant that is native to the Northern Hemisphere, basically, Europe, Asia, North America. So it's spanning the globe. So it has a long history of recognition as a culinary food and also as a medicinal herb. In fact, the haw, which is in the word hawthorn, comes from the old English for hedge. It's also the name that's been given to the fruit. You'll see that in old writings about it, the haw, and they're meaning the hawthorn berry, the hawthorn fruit, which is edible. Kind of tastes like overripe apples. And the first key difference we need to know about hawthorn from an Eastern and Western perspective is in the West, the species that we were really looking at is Crataegus oxyacantha and Crataegus monogyna. Those are the two main varieties we're going to be looking at medicinally here. In the East, we're looking at Crataegus pinnatifida, right? Pinnatifida. Did I say that right? Yes, pinnatifida. So, same family of plants, but different species. Now, another key difference is hawthorn berries from the Chinese variety is sort of a small, bright red fruit that looks like a crabapple, whereas the Western varieties are actually little red berries. Both of them are being, coming to be able to be harvested in the wintertime. This is a key aspect of hawthorn, this bright red berry in these cold winter landscapes. Food, medicine, fresh off the vine. Important for people, important for wildlife, birds and animals. It's just a really important plant that way, and goes into a lot of the roots of the history of this plant. Both varieties are going to be looking at this plant as a key cardiovascular heart medicine. It's going to be good for stabbing cardiac pain, thrombosis, tachycardia, congestive heart failure, high or low blood pressure, arteriosclerosis, shortness of breath, palpitations, that kind of heavy feeling in the chest, degenerative heart diseases of all sorts. Just a cardiotonic, actually support the heart health, and even a broken heart. So even emotionally, this calming of anxiety. So this is kind of the calling card of this plant from both Eastern and Western sides. However, another key difference is in the West, the favor for their varieties tends to be with the leaves and especially the berries. In the East, for their variety, they're favoring the root. Both plants, again, have this and both parts have this cardiovascular capacity. Stick to your varieties when you're using one or the other. And I further wanted to mention, too, that in the East, another key difference is that the roots are considered integral. While they will use the berries, especially for heart health, their own berries, they will use the roots, especially they're integral in many, many formulas for treating food stagnation. And I love that because increasingly in the West, we are recognizing more and more and more the strength and the connection between the stomach, our earth element here, our digestive system, and the heart. We're hearing more about the gut biome and how this impacts heart health, et cetera, et cetera. And here you have this great example of the Chinese, the Eastern variety of hawthorn, which is this major cardiotonic plant, with having this added ability using the roots to really get rid of food stagnation, which causes problems on many, many levels, from minor things to increasingly more complex health issues if it's not handled. And this Western variety of looking at this plant as a culinary and wonderful, again, cardiotonic. So this is a great herb if you have serious heart conditions or if you just want to keep your heart healthy, or if you've suffered an emotional trauma and want to keep your heart feeling less anxious and more courageous. So there you go. Hawthorn, East and West. Visit our website at whiterabbitinstituteofhealing.com and find out more about this beautiful, beautiful winter bearing tree that has fruit on it. How lovely.